All right, look at the calendar. Can you believe we're halfway through March? Do you remember your New Year's resolutions, specifically your career goals? Well, every week we focus on ways to get a jump start in the workforce, and in our Reclaim Your Career segment, giving yourself a tune-up. Valerie Burton, author of Successful Women Think Differently, joining us right now. Okay, good idea. So here we are in the third month of the year. We talked in January about setting those goals throughout the year. So now you got to assess what's working, what isn't working.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, we get to March and we're like, is it March already? It's almost spring, right? And so we start thinking about what were my goals.
Yes.
And so it's really important that we kind of give ourselves a tune-up. Otherwise, we just end up going to work every day, just kind of going with the flow and not saying, where am I going? So there's a few things that you can do. One of the most important is to make sure that you set very authentic goals and that they're purposeful. So in the next 12 months, what are the top 3 goals that you want to achieve? And I say put them in 3 different categories. There are your learning goals. So in your career, what things do you want to learn? Are there some new skills that you want to acquire over the next 12 months that will get you further along in your career? There are relationship goals in your career. So is it about expanding your network?
People you're working with?
That's right. It could be about getting along better, becoming a better leader. And then there are financial goals. I mean, you want to have those financial goals tied to your career, whether it has to do with your retirement savings or increasing your income. What is your biggest financial goal over the next 12 months? So that's the first part of your tune-up, making sure you're setting some really meaningful goals for the next 12 months.
And then you want to make sure you're not kind of repeating mistakes. If something's not working, don't force it at this point.
That's right. That's right. So ask yourself, what's working in my career right now and what's not working? So when you ask what's working, you're looking at the things you want to make sure you keep doing. Sometimes we take those things for granted, and if we lose them, we find ourselves really in trouble. So, who's helping me a lot? Do I need to pour into that relationship? What things do I need to keep doing? But then what's not working? And make sure that you come up with some solutions, and each month say, is this working? Is this a good solution? Do I need to tweak it and try something else? So it becomes kind of this learning and action. I call it self-coaching. You're kind of going back and forth
to see
the
reward here.
Yeah, what's the right solution going to be?
Okay, and then we've got 9 more months to go for the year. So we're not even at a halfway point, not even at the quarter, really, but or kind of. But, it's time to start thinking about, how am I going to utilize the rest of the year?
That's right.
What am I going to do?
That's right. So the third thing you want to do with your career tune-up is to scrutinize your time, right? So even if you looked back over the last year or maybe just the last month, what are those things that are monopolizing your time but there's no return on investment, right? Maybe there's a meeting that you have every single week or every day and it's not very purposeful and you're wasting time. Maybe there are conferences or things that you're going to that aren't really reaping benefits. So you want to eliminate those, but then you also want to say, what do I need to spend more time doing? Because when we have that consistent action, we end up delivering the results that we want. And most importantly, with your time, schedule some time for that rest and relaxation.
Okay, you got to recharge the batteries.
Yeah, it was so funny. This week, I had someone on Facebook that was saying, well, I'm at the beach. Does that count for productivity? And I was like, absolutely.
Sure, you're, I guess, recharging those brain cells.
That's right. Recharging. It's quite productive.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you feel like you haven't accomplished all those things, and you still have we all have, many months to go in the year, don't, kick yourself over it or feel bad about it. Kind of find a way, I guess, how to, see a bright spot in all of that?
Well, I think sometimes
to reassess those goals?
Sometimes we want things to happen in a certain timing and they weren't meant to happen in that timing, or we just have to accept that we are where we are. Where will you go from here? Don't focus on what you haven't done. Focus on what do you need to do now so that this time next year you won't be saying the same thing.
Okay, Valerie Burton. See, it still feels like therapy even though we don't have the sofa right now.
It's coaching.
It's coaching, all right. Life coach, career coach, Valerie Burton. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.